depending on which direction you bent your LEDs, will really determine which way they face. I mean, you know, it's symmetrical, so you technically you could turn them any way you want. The little IR transmitters on one side, but the way I bent mine, well, I guess I could face them that way. But anyways, you know, once you know, in order to get them in there, you know, you've got them like this. This is the negative. You want to take some smooth jawed little pliers, and you want to bend those towards the LED like such. So it's kind of like that, and then you just want to hold that LED and bring it down to where it's pretty much square or perpendicular with the parallel, perpendicular, whatever, to the LED. Kind of see it right there, I guess. Yeah. And then it's going to go in, as you can see on this side. What I've been doing, this is really tedious. So just take a pair of tweezers. I just put one lead in a hole at a time, as such. At least try to. Sometimes it doesn't always work that way. Hold on to the top, get that last one in there, and I take those smooth jawed ones again, and I use that on each one to push it down into the hole, just a little bit on each one, and you can feel it go in. And don't try to get the full depth on the first go around, because it doesn't seem to like to do it. And there you go. And you've got room to solder this way, just barely enough. And that holds all the grounds, and it also stiffens it up. But I will say this: I'll take some of these little pieces that I've got laying around, and I'll go through at least the top row to strengthen this one side. Might even do the bottom here too, because it kind of needs it. So there's 3 of them, and I'm just going to do the rest. Alright, so we got all the panels in, so now we're just going to basically solder the side here with the bent leads to each other. And you kind of want to use a ruler so you can get them kind of even as best you can anyways. So if I remember right, they're 2 centimeters apart, so you just want to kind of use your ruler here and just kind of gotta get them straight first, and then solder them right. Well, it's not going to be quite 2 centimeters because the leads aren't quite long enough, some of them anyways. But that's the point. It's going to go right, it's right on the edges, and then I'm going to take some of these leads that I've cut off, and I'm going to, if they're long enough anyways, and it may not be long enough, but I want to put something across on that side just to get that side kind of rigid, or more rigid than it is. And also, I've already started it. You got 8 sockets, and although it came with, I don't know what this is. This is like really thin wire, which is fine, but you have to solder that in, and I don't really want to solder it into the sockets. I want to be able to pull them out just in case I have to replace an LED or whatever. So I'm using some 24 gauge hookup wire. Preferably you'd want some that's 10, but I don't have any that's 10 right now. So I'm just gonna, the first one goes to the first layer, second one to the second layer, etc., all the way to the end. Just wanted to show you guys something. You could take a small piece of lead wire and bend it to where the inside edges are 20 millimeter, and you've got this big gap right here, and you could just use that as like a little gauge, and that'll close the gap, and then you can solder it. And that's what I did on the side here, because I mean, if you don't have anyone holding it for you, it's kind of hard, but that works pretty good. And you can also use it the other way. If you need to open it, you could just do that, use it to spread it, which is like that. I just lost it, but you get the point. That makes a big difference. And unfortunately, I don't have any lead wire that's long enough for this up here. It's all just like 2-3 millimeters too short, so I'm just gonna have to leave this a little floppy until I can find something. I mean, they don't send you anything to put across on the other side to secure it, but the last LED cube, it was a 3 millimeter instead of 5 millimeter LEDs, so the distance was shorter because it was only, I think, 15 millimeters spread. This is 20 millimeter spread, so these pieces of LED, you could bridge the gap, and it makes a huge difference when you can secure that other side. But like I said, I don't really have anything. The only thing left, as far as I can tell, is now is the ground wires going up to each row, and that's what I'm gonna do next. Alright, so I've got my little wires done. I used black because it kind of blends in when you're looking at it from the other way, but there's 8 of them. I just basically, it's solid wire, so I just kind of put it up in the corners all the way up. And now let's see, let's see what happens here. Hopefully it works the first time. Wonder if that power supply is not powerful enough. So I saw them light up, and then now I'm not seeing anything. So, and even the bottom LEDs aren't coming up. So I'm beginning to think maybe that's not a powerful enough power supply. Although it's supposed to be a 3 amp, and this says 2 amps. So that may not be enough though. Yeah, I'm not getting anything. Well, that sucks. I don't even think I have another power supply that'll work with this. Oh, might help if I actually, I know what I did. Stupid as stupid does. Let's see here. Let's put this over on this one, and then we'll try it. Okay. I don't know if you can see that on the it's very dim. Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. This, like I said, this power supply may not be powerful enough. Or perhaps. I don't know. Comes with a remote control for dimming it and stuff, but I'm not sure. Hang on just a second. You can't see it that way either. I can see it. Looks pretty good, actually. Well, it is done. It is working. I know you can't really see it, but like I said, I know there's some dimming controls and stuff on the little remote control they give you, but they don't really give you a whole lot of detail in those instructions. So I'll have to figure that out. But let's see, maybe you can. Yeah, you can't. It's hard to see. It's hard for me to see it in this. So I'm saying I'm pretty sure that power supply needs to be a little bit more powerful. Definitely not as bright as my little blue one. And I also noticed too that the LEDs that I got for this, they're not as good. They're not as good as the other ones I got either, because I checked every single LED on this thing, and yet I've got some dead LEDs that I'm gonna have to replace. But other than that, I think it's pretty cool.